Good evening, Ghana, and welcome to this evening's edition of Sports Night Live here on Joy Sports on Multi TV. My name is Kwame Dwomoh. Now, this evening, we are focusing on travels. Now, you're going to be asking me what travels have got to do with sports. Well, there are quite a number of sporting events coming on this year. We have the World Cup that's coming on in Brazil. Quite a number of Ghanaians clearly wanting to be a part of the fiesta. And then, right after Brazil 2014, there is the Commonwealth Games. Quite a number of countries are going to be there in Glasgow, in Scotland. 70 countries plus, that's countries that belong to the Commonwealth, are going to be there. And of course, the princesses have just qualified for Canada. So again, it's got to do with travels. This evening, we're going to be taking a retrospective look at this particular issue. So many Ghanaian fans have now developed the culture and habit of traveling to support our various national teams. This evening, I do have one gentleman in the fraternity who is going to be helping us with all these issues concerning traveling to support the various national teams anytime they are in action, and tell us why this culture has become so massive here in Ghana. We'll be back after this break. We're back from the break, and I'm sure you're looking forward to the guest we have on the show. But let me also take this opportunity to let you know that African Origin Travel and Sports Tourism are taking you to Brazil. Now, they have a package for this World Cup, and this package includes visa, airlines, accommodation, match tickets, and internal transfers. Now, all you have to do is to register with $100. Yes, only $100. Now, I'm sure you're looking forward to where you can find them. Well, you can find them at Usu, Oxford Street here in Accra. That's near Photo Club. For those of you who like to take that street, Photo Club is at Usu. And then in Kumasi, you can find them at Ofori Chrome Traffic Lights. And then in Sunyani, you can find them around the stadium. That's the first floor of the Sam Bennett building. Or alternatively, you can reach them on 0544 322 111 or 2 or 3, or you can also reach them on 0544 347 001. You can reach them by mail at info@ao-tours.com or www.ao-tours.com. Now, you note that this package is also available for corporate businesses, supporters, businessmen, and businesswomen as well. This evening, we are doing travels and sports, and I do have the Executive Director of African Origin Travel and Tours as my guest on the show. Well, he has been in this business for some time. He's been flying Ghanaian sports fans to several competitions. This evening, he has total packages concerning the World Cup in Brazil. A lot of Ghanaians are still not very clear as to the cost and the quantum that they would have to pay to go to Brazil. All kinds of figures are, flying around. And the big question for a lot of Ghanaians is, where is this craze coming from? I mean, Ghanaians would just love to stay at home and watch their television sets over the years. But these days, everybody wants to travel. And then there's the Commonwealth Games. And then there's Canada 2014. Well, I'm sure you would have a lot to share with us before the program is over. First of all, let me ask you this. 10, 15 years ago, I mean, I don't recall the last time Ghana was involved in the tournaments, and then you hear someone say, I'm going there to support the team. Where is all this craze coming from?
Yeah, I think...
do we now have too much money in our pockets?
It's not about that. It's about development. We have developed from that time where people will sit on trees to watch football games. We have developed from that time where people did not understand what sports is. Now you will see that, or you realize that in Ghana, as people are talking about politics, sports is on the lead. If you calculate the hours spent on discussing sports programs, you realize that sports is a major stakeholder in communication, in media relations, or any media activity. Look at, let's say, for example, multimedia. On all your platforms, you've got a sporting show every day.
Various shows.
Every day. That makes it a unique segment. Look at the political shows. We call it political or morning shows. Mm-hmm. But it is most of the time not even political. At times it will be discussing social issues.
Exactly.
At times it will be discussing business. At times they will be discussing sports on morning shows. Sports have got its own unique brand. That is why you can see the changes. So people have developed the interest in participating or partaking in sporting events through tourism or through any other means, or getting the opportunity to even do a sports tourism or getting the opportunity to be part of an activity within a particular country that sports event is being organized. So I would say that it is not that people have got money in their pocket. It is because we have been able to brand sports. We have been able to promote sports. And people are now saving to be part of events.
Well, people are now saving to be part of events, and I'm sure that's where a lot of Ghanaians are now do travel to follow the various national teams when they are in action. Something you have been in this business for some time. How would you rate the level of our Ghanaian travel? Do you have a lot of people traveling to see some of these events?
Yes, I think we can boast of not less than 200 in all major events.
Not less than 200?
200, yes, in all major events with the tagline of a World Cup. If it's a World Cup, it's big. Olympic Games have got a similar, almost the same like the World Cups. There is no level in the World Cup. If it is a World Cup, you get a lot of people showing interest. Olympic Games, because it is limited to, it is broad, so people are limited as Ghanaian. You know, Ghanaians are interested in the football. So if Ghana do not qualify, it means there is no good business for us in the Olympic Games. Because athletics, badminton, fencing, judo,
we are not there.
Those weightlifting, we are not there. Even the sports shows on our platforms here in this country will tell you that people spend more time discussing football. Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, all those are the reasons why people have developed so much interest in football. So if Ghana should qualify for a major tournament called a World Cup, then it means Ghana is participating. And so Ghanaians, in general, are interested to be part of it. So I can say Olympic Games is big, but because it is athletics, it is not promoted. It's either the organization or the body that is the body managing it are not able to let the need to give the news to the journalists, or it's either they don't understand it. I don't really know. So it gives us a lot of work to do. We the sports tourism agents, we have to come and advertise before people can even know that there is an Olympic Games or a Commonwealth Game activity happening. Look at how the World Cup is completely on every platform. But we have the same time, immediately after the World Cup, a week after, we have a Commonwealth Game activity that starts in Scotland. And Ghana is participating. But ask yourself, why is there no news at all?
Because maybe with the Commonwealth Games, they don't play football.
They don't play football. Because they don't play football. If, let's say, the under-23, the Black Meteors were to be part of it, or the under-17 were to be part of the Commonwealth Games, you will now realize that people will be talking about the football part of the Commonwealth Games. So the development, the mentality of the public, the interest is all about football in this country. So it gives us that edge to rather focus on the football side than focusing on the area where people have no interest. So comparison, if you are comparing, you realize that football have got enough sales than the other sports.
Well, I'm sure for you, the business people, you would understand, these things a lot better. Let's now focus on, these three major tournaments and, still stay with the issues of our Ghanaian sporting fans and their, their likeness for traveling these days. Let's start with Brazil. Obviously, that's the biggest one that is coming up later this year. Again, you are involved in the business. Maybe just before November, after Ghana secured its qualification for the World Cup, all kinds of figures started, flying around. There were those who were saying that Brazil was too far. I mean, there are no flights from Accra to Rio. I know that for a fact. You might have to go through a second or a third country sometimes. That will cost you a lot of money. Brazil is big. When you get there, traveling from one place to the other, it would also cost you a lot of money. Accommodation, food, transport. I mean, it's going to cost you a fortune to go to Brazil. But in recent times, we've come to see that has changed. Now the figures keep coming down and down and down. What has changed?
Yes, a lot is still changing in Brazil. If you are to visit the WW webs, if you go to my journal or you go to any other web, they will give you different figure. If you keep on browsing, checking prices and other, you will see that you will still be getting different figures. Now you can listen to radio and you have different figures even being mentioned by travel agents. And it confuses the public. It even makes the work of the journalists even more difficult. I don't blame them. It's because some of us seem not to understand the picture or the business, seem to understand the core business and what should go into it when it comes to getting to understand the Ghanaian customer, the client. The client the people you are serving, you need to understand them before you build up a price. The pricing of it, you should understand what do they really want, what have they been doing, what have they been interested in previously. Those are the details that will help you build a price. You can even have a $20,000 price, while someone can sell a package to you for $20,000.
Oh, that's if I'm going to be sleeping in luxury hotels and all that.
Like in Ghana here, you can decide to go to African Sun just at the airport or Holiday Inn. But Holiday Inn, if you are in the UK or in the US or all those big developed countries, you can book Holiday Inn. Here, you go here, it's $300 and something. Holiday, you can book like $50 abroad. Ask yourself why? Because they have got so much variety of same class, better class than them, or whatever equal class, but because the competition is very huge, it's cheaper. But here, what's the difference?
Tell us.
Few people. It's few serving a larger number, so you give a big price. Now, let's say me, for instance, I know my target clients. I'm targeting the corporate. I'm targeting the ordinary supporter. Let me use the word ordinary because I cannot classify them with different segments because they are all as one.
Yeah.
You can classify them as ordinary supporters. So ordinary supporters, they have their own way of supporting national teams. They have their own way of traveling. They have their own mentality as to how you can manage them. How do we manage them? A supporter going to watch the World Cup is interested in enjoying the game. Is interested in getting breakfast morning, afternoon, evening, and enjoying the game. Interested being with the other colleagues or the other citizens who are of the same color, from the same country. That is the way. They want to be at the same place where a particular hotel, they are ready to share cheaper at a particular hotel. They are ready to stay together no matter what the circumstances are because they are able to communicate. Because at the end of the day, if you are sending 5 people to African origin 5-star hotel, then I send 5 people there. I'm sending 200 or 100 people to another hotel where that particular hotel where the people are going to stay. Look at it. You will see that those who have got 200 people staying will have a lot of enjoyment and understanding than the other group who are spending 5 days. No matter if you have your money, you can have that money, you can have the funds, but you will still prefer to go to where the 200 people are.
Exactly.
And the 200 people are always ready to share. So if, let's say, the accommodation is costing $100, you share it for the 5 people living in that room. So it's cheaper. But the 5 people, they are paying, each person is paying for a room being shared by 5 people.
Okay.
So if you are drawing a budget to sell to clients and you know your targets, you need to have variety of budgets. The variety of budgets will determine what are the interests of the people.
So do you have a budget for a variety of people who would want to go to?
Yes, when you come
Brazil,
to
for
our
example?
office, we have made up, we have shown on our various flyers that if you want a hotel, you want to stay in a hotel, single, you are paying 120, we have 160, depending on the particular hotel that you are interested in. We have hotels that are not even serving breakfast at all, which can cost you $100. If you want it, we are giving it to you. So you would choose that I am interested in such an accommodation.
Okay.
An accommodation being shared, I'm not interested in that. I want an accommodation that I can stay alone. But supporters that we always target, as we know as our target clients, always come in 4, 5, 6, 30, 50, 100, 200. So we sell the cheaper ones to them. Then the same class of people, different class of people to who are interested, which is the corporate, who are also interested in single occupancy or even double occupancy, not the triple, not the quadruple or whatever people that we will call it. Those are different. But the corporate are always interested in a single or double occupancy. If you are selling to the corporate, then you must sell per room per person.
You would have to register for $100 if you want to travel with African origin, and the figures that we are hearing now is something in the region of 3,000 plus.
Yeah.
What do I pay you this $100 for?
Yeah, you see, like just this afternoon, I was in the meeting with the Brazilian delegation with regards to how supporters' application and others will be so simplified, where they have made it clear of their interest not to receive the public at the embassy. So it's like there has been series of meetings before today, but we are still trying to look at the simple way of making sure all what we've been discussing is still on course.
Okay.
For instance, you as an ordinary supporter, you intend to go to Brazil. You go to the embassy. They will ask you for so many requirements, which you cannot
Everyone
meet.
does.
You cannot meet it at times. At times you can meet it, but at times you cannot meet it. Now, if you want to go to the FIFA World Cup, you need to have your match tickets. You need to confirm whether you've got accommodation. You need to also confirm that you've got enough funds to move within Brazil.
Sure.
The last time I came here, I showed you the mappings in Brazil, where people must travel as 40 minutes minimum, 2 hours, 4 hours maximum. Within Brazil, even traveling to Abuja is about 1 hour 40 minutes. From here to Abuja, from here to Cote d'Ivoire, it's about 20 minutes by flight, 25, 30 minutes by flight. So you see the distance. Look at the distance between Ghana and Ivory Coast. Look at the distance between Ghana and Lome, 20 minutes. Ghana and Lagos, 40 minutes. Now, within Brazil, or within, let's say, for instance, within Ghana.
We are going to be having a look at that. I remember that presentation you showed to me the other time for my viewers to also have the benefit of these plans. But I just want us to look at this one, and of course, the figures that you're mentioning.
Yeah.
If I walk into African origin, I pay $100. I register. I pay $3,000 in addition. I'm going to Brazil. Full stop.
You pay $100 to register. The key word is you are paying $100. The registration, our terms and conditions applies.
Okay.
Our terms and conditions is said that the $100 that you are paying blocks the package. It means that you have asked African origin to pre-finance your stay in Brazil. If you are no more interested in traveling,
it's not refundable.
It's not refundable. But there is a bill you have to pay. If you are no more interested in traveling, you have to pay us 10% of the total cost of $3,000, which you have decided not to travel any longer because we have already pre-financed the whole trip.
And that will be explained to the clients.
It is in the terms and conditions.
Okay.
If you are able to register, let's say today, the next day you come back and you say you are no more interested in going to Brazil, you are fortunate because it's within the time, the free time that you've got.
Sure.
The $100 is not refundable. But the $100 is a contract that tells us that you have confirmed to travel with us. It's a contract that will allow us to go and apply the Brazilian visa for you. It's a contract that's allowing us to make sure we confirm your accommodation, we confirm your flight through the airlines we are dealing with. Your names is already in the system. So, withdrawing, we'll go with a penalty of 10%, which is at $300. If you are no more withdrawing, you have a grace period, much more time.
How many days?
Which is up to 7th of May. If you are registering now, you have up to 7th of May to try to pay by installment. If, let's say, by May, your workplace is not able to give you leave, and then you realize that and you bring us a letter and say that you are no more interested, and you have paid us more than $2,000, we will still go by the terms and conditions, which says that if the person decides to withdraw, you take 10%, which is $300.
That's fair. That's fair.
Which on our side, we lose because we should have made profits on you, but we thought that the fees that we are paying, that is the problem that we're facing is something around $300. So we would rather use that to foot the bill and keep you as a client for the future businesses. So you see, the $100 is typically meaning that you have paid us. You have paid $3,000.
At least you're on your way there.
You are on your way there.
Samson, I also know that you've had the opportunity to be in Brazil. Yeah. You've put together several presentations that you've showed to me for the benefit of this discussion. If my viewers could get to see this as well. When you went to Brazil, what did you see and what do you want to share with us?
Yeah, I think if the camera can capture, this is the map. This is the map in Brazil. From the screen, you will see the distances from Fortaleza. And from the screen, you can also figure out that Ghana will be playing in Natal, which is being indicated here. This is Natal. This is Fortaleza. You see? This is Fortaleza that you find here. Fortaleza is very close to Accra, where we sit now. Fortaleza is just close from Takoradi. Very, very close from where we sit. At the moment, if we are to go to Brazil as a Ghanaian and you want to get a flight to go to Brazil, there are so many options you can go. You can go through Europe, which means that you'll be going to either Heathrow or go through Madrid or go through Frankfurt or go through Lisbon.
Yeah.
So why do you go to Europe? Because it means that you are traveling far. Then we as an agency need to think about the client. What do? We have to look for an option. What is the shortest option? The shortest and the simplest option is to go through a charter or through a very simple arrangement.
From Accra.
From Accra. Okay. The simple arrangement we are doing is that African Origin have decided that if we are doing 500 people, we are doing 2 charter. If we are doing 250 people, we are doing 1 charter, which is the minimum that we are doing, 1 charter. But we can do as many as we can, depending on the pocket of the client.
Sure.
Okay. So the distance between Accra and Natal alone, the distance between Accra and Natal, let me take you to Natal for the viewers to have a clearer picture of what happens in Brazil. This is Fortaleza. This is Brasilia. This is Rio de Janeiro. This is Salvador. I'll be taking the viewers through all this Belo Horizonte. This is Natal. Perfect. Viewers, if you are watching, you see on the screen from here, this is the distance between
Accra and
That's the distance
Sao
by
Paulo.
air. This is Accra, Sao Paulo. If you are traveling from Accra to Sao Paulo, there are airlines that can give you that option. If you are traveling through Ethiopian airline, through Accra,
So you have
Lome,
to go to Addis Ababa.
no, you go through Lome.
Okay.
There was an arrangement like this, which have already started since last year.
Okay.
That they travel from Lome to Sao Paulo because of the World Cup. You need to believe. You need to believe that Ghana will qualify, Nigeria will qualify, and Ivory Coast. So you see, you'll be traveling through Accra, Lome to Sao Paulo. That is their scheduled flight route.
Okay.
So now you see that the distance is 5,945 kilometers.
So you're doing 7 hours,
so you're doing
40
7
minutes.
hours, 40 minutes. And distance by air, Accra, Fortaleza, distance by air, you will realize that Accra, Fortaleza, we are doing 4,356 kilometers, which is 5 hours, 37 minutes. Just this afternoon, the embassy was even telling us that they would have preferred I send my people straight to Fortaleza. But when I explained to them that sending them to Fortaleza will not help me because you have to either go send them by bus, do a 2 journey. They will go to Natal and come back to Fortaleza, and then they will suffer. Because why do I send them to Fortaleza and do a bus, and then send them back again to Fortaleza for the next game.
The distances between the cities that Ghana are going to be playing, I understand that when we go to Brazil, the Ghanaians who are going to be leaving Accra to go to Brazil, the first point of call is going to be Natal.
Natal, yeah.
We are playing our matches in 3 different venues.
Yeah.
If we can have a presentation of those 3 different venues for the viewer to see as well.
But before then, let me try to explain the distance between Accra and Natal. You realize, if the viewers are watching, you will notice that the distance between Accra and then Natal is 4,070, which is 5 hours, 50 minutes. Okay, let's now look at the map itself. You ask for the distance. If Ghana is playing in Natal, we fly from Accra to Natal 5 hours, 15 minutes.
Okay.
We stay there for 4 nights, which is 5 days maximum. Then we play the game in Natal. This is Natal on the map being shown. But the distance between Natal and Fortaleza by flight is 40 minutes. But look at how short it is. It's very short, but it's 40 minutes.
By air?
By air. But if we want to do by bus, then I need to take you through that busing system. It's on the map. Okay. But let me show you the distance between Natal and Brasilia. The distance between Natal and Brasilia will give you 2 hours, 44 minutes. It's on the screen. 2 hours, 44 minutes. It is there. That is Brasilia. Within Brazil, like I said, it's like traveling from here to, let's say, Niamey. Okay. Then, let's do Fortaleza. Fortaleza, where we can get the analysis of how the journey, okay, this is Fortaleza, this is Brasilia, but we are doing a bus transfer between Fortaleza and then Brasilia. It is 1,953 kilometers, which will give us maximum of 29 hours.
By bus?
By bus.
I can't travel for 29 hours.
So you go by flight. And by flight, we've already told you that if you are doing Fortaleza, Brasilia, you are doing 2 hours, 36 minutes. It's here on the screen. It's here. You are doing within Brazil, within Brasilia, Fortaleza, 2 hours, 36 minutes. So now, on the screen, we can now figure out the distance. So it's now left for you, the client, to tell us whether you are interested in traveling by bus or by flight.
And that one has got its own arrangements.
That one has got its own arrangements. But we are not confusing ourselves to do bus. You have to go by flight.
Because it's too far.
It's too far. And we cannot monitor your safety. We cannot be your security for that long hours. We will definitely sleep, and you will also sleep. So when do we connect on the phone? Or how do we connect ourselves? It will be very difficult.
Sure.
So we don't suggest it at all to the people. So, okay, let's see from here. Distance between Natal. The distance between Natal and Fortaleza by bus is 510 kilometers, which is 7 hours, 21 minutes. Is here, Natal, Fortaleza, 7 hours, 21 minutes. This one we can do.
Well, that's manageable.
Yes, we can do.
Like Accra,
we just do
Sunyani,
one stopover. Just like traveling to Kumasi or Sunyani, you get to Linda Door, you take some lunch, you at least you just enjoy yourself, you just refresh yourself before taking another step.
Sure.
So I think with this we can do. But apart from this, the other destinations we cannot do.
Oh, they are very far.
Okay. If Ghana is second, if Ghana loses match 61, okay, this is the third place, which I don't think we are not there yet. But we can do the Salvador journey, where I can take my time to explain a little bit to our viewers to have an idea. Viewers. So, you see that this is Salvador. If Ghana is runner-up in Group G, if we are second, runner-up means we being second.
We play second in our group.
We play second in our group, Group G. It means that we will be traveling from Brasilia to Salvador. The distance alone is 20 hours. And we are doing 1,441 kilometers, 20 hours, 30 minutes, almost 21 hours. It doesn't make sense. We cannot do it by road. If we are doing this, the supporters will beat us. They will beat us on the way because they can't do it. We cannot do this journey. It will be very difficult for us. So we'll be doing charter. We have already done our charter arrangements within Brazil.
The most important thing for Ghanaians watching this elaborate presentation that you're doing is that these are things that you've already planned for. You're only preparing to execute them.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly. We are doing a charter arrangement for all the long distances. The shortest one that we are doing is Natal Fortaleza. That is the only the shorter distance. And even, my brother, you see, let me show you something here. The distance between, this is Porto Alegre. You see where Porto Alegre is?
Yeah,
look at the distance between Salvador and Porto Alegre is 3 hours, 34 minutes. Down here.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 hours. It's 3 hours journey. Okay. Let me show you something here. I'm just looking at the qualifications time so that we can look at here, this place. This is even Rio de Janeiro. That's if we are first. You know, when we are first, we will go and play our second round game in Porto Alegre, this place. Porto Alegre.
Very down the coast.
Very down. And we will be doing like 3 hours journey, 3 hours and over journey. So, if, let's say we are in Salvador, we find ourselves in Salvador, or even Brasilia here, to go here, we will do in 3 hours. Even from Salvador to even Rio de Janeiro, you know, we are doing something with a range of 1 hour, 52 minutes. The journey, everything over 1 hour, we cannot do.
So, in effect, what you're saying is that depending on how we place in our group,
yes,
it would also have its telling effect on where we go.
Where we go.
The cities we go to,
yes,
the distances we would have to cover,
yes,
and all that. I want us to go for a break at this point. When we come back, I'm going to ask you whether that would not also affect the pockets of the various individuals who are going to be going on the trip, and whether that would also not affect your company's pockets as well. This is Sports Night, live here on Joy Sports on Multi TV. We'll be back after this break. We're back from the break and we're still doing sports and travel here as we build up to Brazil 2014. The Commonwealth Games are coming up in Glasgow, and of course, the maidens also qualifying for the World Cup in Canada. The maidens are actually going to be in Costa Rica. The princesses are going to be in Canada. So there's going to be a lot of travel between June and September, thereabout, when all these competitions are going to be played. So get your visas, get your passports, get your dues ready to go and see these events. The Executive Director of African Origin Travel and Tours, whose company is in the business of ferrying funds all across the globe for some of these events, is in the studio with me here. We're discussing, you know, all the very important issues that has to do with traveling as a sports fan and how you can confidently get to these locations without any problem. Something before we went for the break, we're looking at, you know, the distances that the fans would have to cover depending on how we place in our group. That is, if we qualify for the round of 16 with Brazil as we speak, would that affect the pocket of the fund? Would it affect your company's profits?
No. You know, as of last year, in October, there was this news about funds, not the supporters not interested in going to Brazil from UK government, France, Germany, and all sorts. There was this meeting in Switzerland that FIFA made sure that the Brazilian authority take notice of. That is the distance and the price range. I can tell you that I'm telling you from our own arrangements, because we are into sports tourism and we know the mathematics and the politics in the sports tourism. Mm-hmm. We have been able to secure those quality packages that secures the happiness of the client. If you look on the screen, you will find out that we have distances, flights with green, yellow, and red.
What do they mean?
Yes. What it means is that we have been able to define the distances by route. And FIFA, in connection with their match connections, we have something we call match connections. Mm-hmm. They manages the hospitality of we, the sporting tourism fraternity industry. So match connections will then tell you, or tell the airlines, tell the hotels, that these are the conditions that we want you to operate. Okay. And at these conditions, someone is traveling a distance of 40 minutes, bought a ticket. Someone is always also traveling a distance of 3 hours, bought a ticket. We are charging the same price.
Why?
The reason is you are making more money if the person is traveling a shorter distance. At the same time, you will make less profits if the person is traveling a shorter distance. That is why, per the draw made by FIFA, the draw of the FIFA World Cup, I will tell you, go and look at it, per the maps I've shown you here. You realize that all the teams will have 2 shorter distance travel, which is under the 2 hours law. Then they will have 1 long distance. So the 1 long distance and the 2 shorter distance falls within the range of the price.
Sure.
So FIFA says that if that is the case, clients or customers or travelers should pay the same price. So if you come to us and buy our package, and we are aware of our 250, that we have secured a 250, if we are selling the air ticket to you, and I tell you to pay $320 per a distance, so you are not interested to do the 7 hours, 10 minutes by bus to Fortaleza, so you want to go by flight. If I'm giving you 3 tickets, I'm giving you the same price of the tickets for the 3 journey. So you would do Natal, Fortaleza, Fortaleza, Brasilia, Brasilia, Salvador, Salvador, Porto Alegre. So, you know when I showed you the map,
the earlier map, yeah.
The earlier map, you realize that the distance between Brasilia and Porto Alegre was more than, it was 3 hours, 36 minutes. So it means that you are doing 1 journey or 2 journey at a time, which is expensive. So if you are doing your second round, the distance between Brasilia, if you are second on the table.
That is if we come up second.
If we come up second. You know, we're doing Brasilia, the journey is between Brasilia and Salvador. So it is now under the 2 hours.
Okay.
If you are first, based on where you are playing your match, which is for us, Ghana, we'll be playing in Brasilia. So if we are playing in Brasilia, we will now be doing another long journey to Porto Alegre, which is over the 3 hours journey. You pay the same price for air tickets.
In the face of all this, the big question is this. You have given us an elaborate presentation on paper or on your laptop that you have what it takes to ensure that anyone who is traveling to Brazil is in safe, assured hands. All the plans, all the preparations are there.
Yeah.
What is the guarantee that if I walk into your offices in Accra, Kumasi, Sunyani, you're taking me to Brazil, depending on how far we go, you're bringing me back to Accra, to Kumasi, or to Sunyani, or any part of Ghana that I will be traveling from safe and sound? That's what Ghanaians want to hear.
What I would say is that, you know, we have got a track record. We understand the environment where we are taking you to. We always make sure we are part of the team that is playing the game. The team playing the game have got a very long network that if you are not part of it, you will never understand what goes on. We've got partnership with over 132 travel agents across the world. Those who did not even qualify are also doing Brazil business. Some have got hotels.
Well, everyone wants to be there.
Some have got tickets. Some have got all manner of things that I will need as a country that have qualified. If I can sit here and tell you that I can get you 5,000 tickets, you should be able to believe me because I have people in the system who can get it for you. Why? Because it's a network. If you are not part of it, you are not part of it. That is the experience that we have got. We have that 13 years of experience in doing this business, concentrating on sports tourism. If you compare Ghana before the 2006 African Cup of Nations, you will realize that Ghana football was not that popular.
Well, we're not qualifying for the World Cup.
We were not qualifying for the World Cup. And we were not qualifying even for a proper African Cup of Nations. We will qualify, we go, it's either Ghana do not go, if either Ghana goes to the tournament like in Mali and all those countries, we go there, we don't have our jerseys even around. Players have to fight management members, a lot of problems. But since the era of Kwesi Nyantakyi, you realize that it is helping we, the business people. Why? Because they have a good system working, a good system that is managing a team, a good system that understands the game, and a good system that makes your job easier. Why? How easier? The journalists are able to get the necessary information they want. They are able to get the necessary platform to be part of the team. So if that is the case, we started way back in 2006. We have already started losing. That's not making profit. At times you advertise, you don't get even a client at all. You waste money, you do all this. But after 2006 African Cup of Nations, before the 2006, when we qualify for the World Cup, before the 2006 African Cup of Nations, then you can see there is something I have called developed. We are a developed country automatically. Then, fortunately for us, the then president, who was then the J.E. Kufuor, the former president, he was able to understand that sports tourism is now part of the game. So he sponsored a lot of Ghanaians to Germany. So that was the beginning of good service.
And this is where we are.
And this is where we are. So from that time to date, you should realize that we have done 3 World Cups under Kwesi Nyantakyi. The same person took us to South Africa. Look at how well organized they were. Very organized, and we were able to reach the quarterfinals. Now, I can tell you, the planning is ongoing, the preparation is ongoing, the current government is supporting them fully. Whatever they want, they are doing it. Even look at Chan. Look at how attractive it was yesterday to watch our Chan team playing. So selling South Africa wasn't a problem for us because already people understand that we know what to do to get them there. And we have been able to do it. So the experience is very important. If you don't understand the work, it will be very difficult to do it. But for us, as a listener, if you are listening to me, just don't waste your time. Just go on the internet. Just Google African Origin Travels. You will see what we have done. You will get
you have the track record.
You get so many news about us. Not even only Ghanaian media, foreign media writing about us. Germans, French, the English press, they are writing about us because they have always met us at events, and we have granted interviews to them, and they are able to say exactly what we have done. Those are the track records.
Talking of the track record that you have, talking of all that you've been able to do all these years.
Yeah.
Chan is currently ongoing.
Yeah.
My understanding is that you've been able to get some people to South Africa.
Sure.
You have Brazil on your hands.
Yeah.
Right after Brazil, you have Commonwealth Games on your hands.
Yes.
Right after Commonwealth Games, I'm sure you will be planning for maidens and Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be planning
maidens,
for...
We have been able to do the maidens. Those who wants to go to maidens, you're just about 6 weeks away. For March 15th, it will start for the Costa Rica game. So those supporters who are supposed to go, we've been able to secure them.
And then beyond that, you have the Black Princesses coming up in Canada.
Yeah.
Someone would say it's a lot of business.
Yeah.
You're going to be under a lot of pressure. How are you going to be doing this? Let's take it one after the other.
Yeah.
We are done with Brazil. Let's look at the Commonwealth Games that will come right after the World Cup. It's going to be a lot of pressure on you.
It is not a pressure. It is not. You need to.
You're dealing with people. You're dealing with Ghanaians. You know how we are.
You need to have the experience to understand how it works. You need to do your mathematics very well. If you want to go to Canada, for instance, that is the last event. Not the last, but I can say the last event, the major. Because
the major one for the year.
The major one for the year. If you are not part of our group by 24th of February, you are out. Because
Just next month?
Just next month. If
Canada
you are not
is 6-7 months
away. But if you are not part of the group that we will send to Canada by the 1st of March, you are out of Canada.
You've got your packages out already?
We've got our packages rolling up already, and I think your platform is always available to help us do that.
Tell us about it.
Canada, we are taking $4,000. You know, there is one thing which people do not get or do not understand about us, that people have got this perception which I don't understand why they should be comparing. You know, there are people...
We are Ghanaians, we compare.
There are people who sit out there and charge people a big amount of money with the intent of sending them to go and stay. We are not doing that. We are rather doing what we call sports tourism, where we are able to receive other foreigners to come and watch our league matches. We receive other foreigners to come and watch our Black Stars, our national games. We also send Ghanaians abroad to go and watch international quality games, like the World Cup. Mm-hmm. What we do is that we cannot exploit the public, because our budget should be out there. A right-thinking Ghanaian can go on the internet and just check the fare for Accra, Toronto, Accra is how much. Then he will realize that it's costing around $1,800. Mm-hmm. A right-thinking Ghanaian will sit down and check that. How much will accommodation cost me? If I'm sleeping in an accommodation sharing with 3 or 2 people, and accommodation is cheap to the extent of $50, why should I charge you that high? A right-thinking Ghanaian can also say, if I'm doing a transfer and I want to even take a train to travel, and I can do a 2-week package, travel pack from the train, from the railway station, mm-hmm. and pay about $150. So what is this big amount of $15,000, $20,000 people are charging? We are not. We are not. We are different from someone who is sitting down somewhere trying to do such service. We don't do that. We only sell hospitality and sports tourism packages.
Something with all your experience.
Yes.
I know you have the answer to this one. I have met people in and away from sports who have told me that if you want to get a visa to Canada, if the grace of God is not on you, forget it. How true is this?
Yeah, not only Canada. If you want to travel to UK, if you don't have the blessings of God, you cannot go. But people...
They say Canada is extremely difficult to get.
All the embassies is difficult. If I tell you how many people apply for visas to United States and to the United Kingdom, Massa, 10% is what goes to Canada. You take your time one day or take a week investigation, just do some screening investigation on these 2 embassies, the United Kingdom and the United States. The number of people that troop there for visas and how many people are able to secure visas, you realize that those 2 countries are difficult than Canada. Because Canada, nowadays, if you have 100 people applying for visas and about 15 are able to be successful, you understand? Mm-hmm. It's good. Compared to 800 people applying for visas each day, and few are chosen. So if you compare, you realize that they are all on the same platform.
You have a very big job on your hands to get the funds to Canada. You say you have only 24th of February to register anyone who is going to be participating. Now that is just about 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
If I walk to your office on the 25th of February, doesn't mean you won't
you are not part of it. We have a deadline. 24th February, we should get the lists. We should be able to send this list. We have to do what we call documentation. We have to be able to explain to the embassy that these are the people, they have the packages. That is why I've said we always look for a guarantee from our banks to cater for accommodation, transfers, all this. And those are the things we will pay for. That's why our terms and conditions are always strict. You come, you pay the $300 for Canada. The total amount is $4,000. You have paid $300. If you are no more traveling, or you tell us you are no more traveling at the end of the day, you pay the 10%, which is the terms and conditions that we have got. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is that people are most of the time fortunate to be able to experience the countries they have got interest in visiting. In quote, you should be visiting. You should have the interest in football. You should be interested in visiting, not to go and stay in their country. If you go to Canada today and they give you a visa, and you go there the next day, they will give you. But if you go there and overstay or decide to stay in that country, that is when, if the unfortunate happens to you and you are deported or whatever ways you come later and you want to go and reapply, they will refuse your visa. It's always happening to a lot of people.
Do you have people already walking to your office to tell you they want to go to Canada?
Yeah, we have a lot of people, and we take our time to also screen them. We just don't take anybody.
Give me a fair idea. What do you mean by screening them? Maybe my standards may be different. How do you screen?
There are people, after assessing them, you realize they can't pay. There are people, after talking to them, you realize that they have got different interests. So when we get
what different interests mean?
Different interests,
the one I know.
Having the intent of intent of
that
going
is the
to
one
stay.
I know.
Yes, intent of going to stay. You shouldn't have that intent. You can spend we have also spent over $20,000 to go on holidays. You can spend. It doesn't mean you should be that rich to go to Canada. You can spend $4,000 to go there, just enjoy your World Cup and come back, like the UK, the British, the UK embassy have been doing. All the people who have passed through our hands to be at the Olympic Games, to go to the Ghana-England game, the Ghana-Brazil game, the Ghana-Nigerian game, all those clients are still available with us. Some of them have got 2 years, some of them have got 5 years visas. That is it. The embassy, immediately you go and they give you 6 months. It's an opportunity for you.
Sure.
You go there, you come back. Then on your own way, maybe Arsenal versus Chelsea playing, you just come to us, you buy a ticket, you go and watch, and you come back. It means you have got 2 entries within a 6 months. And even for them, they said the last 2 years, your visit to UK will allow you to be able to apply for a 2 years visa. Mm-hmm. So they are able to give you 2 years visa. Look at it, is crystal clear. All the embassies, Canada for instance, if you've got good travel experience, let's say you're a supporter, you'll be able to go to South Africa, you'll be able to go to Egypt, you'll be able to go to the last the last Olympic Games in UK, and all that. And you've got all this to prove. Why not?
Why not?
They can decide to give you a multiple visa. That is, if you can pay the 320 Ghana cedis visa fee or the 160 visa fee for a single visa.
The word multiple just reminded me of something. If I get a multiple visa to Canada, hey. I'll leave my comments for now. Let's do another round of commercials. That's going to be a final commercial. When we come back, we wrap up with a discussion. You stay with us. We are back for the final leg of the show. The Executive Director of African Origin Travel and Tours, Samsudeen, is my guest on the show. We're looking at sports and travel, especially with so many events coming up thus year, and many Ghanaian fan wanting to be a part of these fiestas. He has laid the rules and the ground rules very clear for all of us who would want to be at any of these events. Very clear. It's about sports, it's about tourism, it's about going there to have a look at these countries, it's about going there to have fun, it's about going there to enjoy yourselves. We've looked at Brazil, we've looked at Costa Rica, we've looked at Canada. The Commonwealth Games is coming up as well in Glasgow. Scotland is a very beautiful country from what I've read, and I understand you're preparing for that one as well.
Yeah, we've got partners, as I said, because of our interest and our experience in the job. For the past years, if you don't have partners, I don't think you can survive this business. You need to have people who understand the job, who understand the mentality of the people you are servicing. So we are taking most Ghanaians who have interest in athletics. That is what the Commonwealth Games is about. It's not football; is not part of it like the Olympics. And Glasgow is hosting it. And when we talk about Glasgow, though they've got their own section at the British High Commission, it's been managed. You get a UK visa to take you to Glasgow. So we will need to also prepare for these people as well. And because the UK is most of the time flexible when it comes to these visa arrangements to go to Glasgow and all that, we sometimes do not want to restrict the public, but we have to give them that time from this time to April.
Okay.
Whilst we are, because Brazil is so big.
Exactly.
It's a big business for us to do because it's the main Black Stars World Cup. But because we don't want to jam the system, we have given ourselves February, we finish with Canada, then we are still doing our Brazil. Then April, we finish with UK. UK is all about the requirements. Canada is all about the requirements. Brazil is all about the requirements. We've got the space. We've got the officers who can manage this, and all have got its conditions. In 2012, we had a package, various different kinds of packages, which we realized that there is no need to do such a package again. It was cheaper, but it gave some people the chance to sometimes try to find a way through. But this time we have tightened it up. Just one package that we are selling, you are paying it in pounds, which is £1,520. It gives you
that's the total package.
Total package. It gives you the accommodation for 11 days. It gives you the flight return ticket to the United Kingdom. It also gives you the tickets to about 3 games. Okay. Because we've got different disciplines.
There are so many games.
Athletics, weightlifting, judo, all those that Ghana is participating in. And you know, with Commonwealth, Ghana most of the time have got a larger contingent participating, not like the Olympics that, you know, the timing, the records are so tight for you to participate. So all the people who have got interest in athletics, you know, because it's not football, I've told you, football, the interest is always high. But when it comes to athletics, it's a bit slow. That's why we don't want to put some strict measures on the people who want to travel, because we know that the people who want to go to Canada are more. The people who want to go to Brazil are more. The people who want to go to UK are few. So we have given them the chance. Whilst we are doing our Brazil and Canada, then we take our time and do the UK. It's only £1,520 that you will need to go to Canada.
And you have a deadline of April. Any particular day in April?
Yeah, April. What we are doing is that we are doing by 1st of April, we end it.
Okay.
But what you need to secure, I'm not saying you should come and pay the £1,520. You only have to pay £100. £100
for registration.
For registration. To block it. It will block this package. It means that you have paid us the £1,520. You have up till after the World Cup on the 13th of July to pay the rest. So you have so many time to pay. We understand the Ghanaian mentality. The Ghanaian is always wanting the event to be closer. Why? Because they are always thinking of what if tsunami or something happens? What if I die? What if something happens and I don't go? Or what if the flight or you know this volcano, that volcanic ice cloud or something that happened 3 years ago.
Yes, I do remember.
In Iceland.
Yeah, I think it was.
In Iceland. And then, Yes, Iceland. And then a lot of flights were not able to fly within
mainstream Europe.
In mainstream Europe. And it created a lot of... So Ghanaians have that mentality, that what if I pay now and something happens and I'm not able to go? These are the problems. So, so what we will do is that you will come and sign an agreement with us that we should take the £100, assist you, get all the necessary details in the package. But, you know, because I've said it, we are not visa racketeers, but because it's our job, and the people who are traveling to this destination have no knowledge in acquiring visas, we also look at the requirements of the embassies and try to assist our clients. All this are time. Sometimes you need to give your computers, your internet, devote an officer to take them through the feeling, advise them on how they will not make mistakes. Even some people, I have seen a very rich person in this country who, I'm telling you, the name on his bank statement, the name on his passport, his name Buachi is spelled differently on 3 different documents. Such a person, if you take this document to any embassy, they will refuse you. So such advices is what we call consultancy. You must pay us for this.
Because you are the experts.
Because we are the experts. You must pay us for this consultancy, because we've got people who have done immigration and have done all this, have gone through diplomatic missions and work with them, who will come and look through these things and advise that this is the professional way of doing it. And we must pay them. So that is what we call consultancy. And you want us to do it, you have to pay us our $200 consultancy
Something.
fee. So we don't charge the public. We don't exploit them. We only give them a better service, because the people who are in the scheme of things, who manage the scheme of things in this country, that is football, the GFA, the Ghana Olympic Committee, the National Sports Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they always enjoy working with us. So having a good relationship with them, you must let the citizens also enjoy a better service. So
something we'll be looking forward to, a better services with you and your company. You have so much on your hands this year. Hopefully you'll be able to execute all that. And let me also inform you that they are also taking a keen interest in what we are doing this evening. They're part sponsors of the show, and they have a package for you, like I said earlier on, for Brazil 2014. Now, this package includes a visa, airlines, accommodation, match tickets, and internal transfers. All you have to do is to register with $100. Now, you can locate them in Accra at Osu, Oxford Street near Photo Club, Kumasi at Oforikrom Traffic Light, and in Sunyani around the stadium first floor Sam Bennett building. Now you can reach them on 0544 322 111 or 2 or 3 or 0544 347 001. You can also reach them by mail at info@AO as an African origin -tours.com. Or you can visit their web on www.ao-tours.com. And you also know that this package is available for corporate businesses, supporters, businessmen, and businesswomen as well. So for all of you who might have plans to travel to any of these events later this year, you know where to go. African Origin Travel and Tours is the place to be. Find them at any of their offices in Accra, Sunyani, or in Kumasi, and I'm sure you're going to have a lovely time with them. And for you out there watching us, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.